So again, welcome back to Top FX. So guys, again, have you ever made rules like I'm gonna do A, B, C, D, and then you reach in front of the charts and then you find out that you're not following what you're supposed to be doing? It happens to a lot of traders, you understand? You make rules that I'm going to be doing A, B, C, D, but when you reach in front of the charts, you end up doing something different. So again, I want you to understand one thing. You do not have a problem of discipline. You don't, you understand? Your discipline is actually very good. You have a problem of alignment. You understand? The way you think is not in direct alignment with how the market operates. You understand? So the brain that you're using right now loves certainty, meaning that your brain loves to know what's going to happen next. So if you're in an environment whereby you do not know what's going to happen next, like being in trade, you understand? You sit in front of the charts, you do not know what's going to happen next. So every time you're in front of the market and you do not know what's going to happen next, your brain always releases stress hormones, like cortisol and all that, and then you end up being in fight or flight mode. If you're in such a situation, you can't trade well. You cannot even know what's really happening. You understand? That's why you always end up finding that, you know what, after losing a trade, you go in front of the chart, you tell yourself, you know what, I would have done something like this. Why did I even do this? It's because the person who was trading, it wasn't you. You understand? It wasn't you. So now, these professional traders that you see making money every single day, they have taught their subconscious mind and their nervous system to trust them in an environment of uncertainty. You understand? So again, you have to reprogram your mind. You need to reprogram your mind to change the way your mind thinks. Because again, for example, you execute a trade right now and the trade turns into a losing trade. You understand? And then the next day you find a setup and then you find yourself that you're hesitating to execute the next trade. Why? Because again, your brain was wired to associate moments. So because your brain thinks that since the last trade was a losing trade, even the next one has to be a losing trade. So in this way, what's going to happen? You're going to hesitate to enter the second trade. You understand? So again, don't think that you are wrong to be able to think like this. No, that is how your mind was wired. You understand? But again, you need to fight that. You need to reprogram your mind to stop associating moments. You understand? So the second trade, since the first trade was a losing trade, you will always find yourself hesitating the second trade. Why? Because again, your brain thinks that even the second trade is going to be a losing trade. You understand? So again, it's your duty to make sure that you reprogram your mind to the way how the market works, like thinking in probabilities. Because again, if you think in probabilities, it means that even if you lose a trade right now and you find another setup, you won't think twice whether to take it or not. Why? Because again, you know it's just a game of numbers. You understand? So again, the biggest issue that you have is not the market, it's about your mind. You need to work on your mind. You need to reprogram your mind to think like the market. You understand? So again, once you start thinking like the market, like thinking in probabilities, what does it mean? You won't be able to do some mistake that many traders do. You understand? Like hesitation, entering a trade so early because you want to make money and all that. You understand? So the biggest issue that you need to work on right now is making sure that you change your mind, the way your mind thinks, reprogramming your mind. So there are a lot of techniques that you can find online, how you can change your beliefs, like the belief of thinking in trade by trade mentality. Because again, as human beings, each trade that you execute, it's like life or death scenario. Every trade that you're executing, you want it to turn into a winning trade by force, which is not possible. You understand? So by you forcing yourself to execute these trades and then you want every trade to win, it's a problem. You understand? And sometimes you'll find out that other trades are not working, which is totally fine because again, the truth of the matter is you do not need to win each and every trade to become profitable. You understand? So again, the fact that your brain doesn't know that, you know that logically, but again, every time you get a loss, you feel discomfort, you don't like it and all that. It's because your brain only wants you to get winning trades. So if you still think this way, what is going to happen? You won't be able to do things that you're supposed to be doing in front of the charts. So again, the biggest challenge that you have as a trader is making sure that you do what? You reprogram your mind. If you reprogram your mind and then you start thinking the right way, in that way things are going to change for you. So again, the biggest challenge you're having is not about the market, it's about your mind. So if you master your mind, you will be able to trade very well and then you will start seeing things well in front of the charts, not after when they have happened. You understand?